You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your number one source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's Love in the City After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Love in the City After Show.
Oh, this is good. Hey, Marissa, you tight. You tight, girl, every time. Hey, everyone. We are here for episode 5 of OWN's Love in the City, The Misadventures of Miss Kiyah Wright. I'm your host, Stacy Ike, and I'm joined with my lovely co-host. Introduce yourself.
And I'm your host, Courtney Tezeno. We had a great episode, a lot about Kiyah, but we still have a lot about the other girls.
Hey, everyone. So we're going to pretty much jump right into it. Since the title is definitely after Kiyah, we can go ahead and go straight into her. I think what was really interesting about her this episode was that she, you know, we got to see both sides of her. We got to see the career part, her breaking down a little bit of her family life, and really like understand the emotional part of her.
Yeah,
she's
which
always
is what we haven't seen
yeah. She's always
side
made
yet.
it very clear that vulnerability was just not her thing, and that she really didn't want to dive into her past, which was her mother passing away. And this was cool. She really expressed herself and was very honest with us. So I thought that was pretty cool.
She was kind of forced. Family kind of forced it, but I think it was needed. She needed that release.
I think what was crazy, that's why when we were screening and she said that she had never visited her mother's gravesite, I was like, it's been 26 years though.
Yeah.
How is that possible? I don't think I can imagine. I mean, I've never been in this position, but I could not imagine not visiting for that long because
I honestly think I could see something like that happening.
Yeah.
When you've suppressed those feelings for so long, and then like you kind of are living through life and trying to just get through, you kind of forget that you need to address those feelings.
Right.
So I could see maybe not 26 years, but
that's a long time. But I realized, like, you're right. She's 14. Let's say she went through all of college, and then by the time you get out of college, you're 22, 21, and now I mean, I could see it. I wonder how much that hit. I understand why her family felt that it was very necessary because it's been a very long time. Yeah.
And she was 14, and I remember her saying that she didn't have the best relationship with her mom when she passed, so she was in that angry phase. Or I think all teenagers have that phase with their parents where they're like, oh, Mom, I hate you, or like, oh, we just don't vibe well. So maybe she was at that point, and then when it happened, it's like, well, how do I address these feelings when we weren't good, and then now you're gone, and what can I do? So, most people either have a complete breakdown, or they do like how she did, and they just don't address it at all.
Ignore it, yeah. And I think her sister did a pretty interesting job of like breaking down those barriers. But what I didn't like is that I guess she was bringing out emotions that I don't think Kiyah was necessarily ready to address. And I appreciate why she did that, but there was parts of me that was confused of why she did it the way she did it. You know what I mean?
What? Like,
it was very, why don't you feel this way? And do you remember saying you love you? And it's like, oh my
that
gosh, that's too
bothered
much.
Me.
Yeah.
Exactly. That was way too much. Like, those feelings need to come out, but they need to be a little bit more natural. And I think when Kiyah was saying, like, my sister's like the opposite of me and she's overly emotional.
We saw that. Absolutely.
Yeah, she did a lot. But
definitely.
I mean, I think for her sister, she kind of wanted her to address that for her as well, because it's like, when you're a child and you go through that, if you're the overly emotional one, you want to have someone to lean on. And I bet Kiyah was just like, okay, got to keep moving. I don't know why you're tripping so much.
Exactly.
So.
And that would have been really hard to deal with at 14, I feel like. And Kiyah's older sister, that was her older sister?
Yeah.
Her older sister probably dealt with it in a different way, obviously, and probably did, explore those feelings a little bit more. And so I think having Kiyah deal with them now, they can kind of bond in that sense, and she can really understand what she's been going through, and they can move on together. So I think it is cool overall that she was able to go see her family. And she's from DC, so I was like, you get to go to see DC and look cute and whatnot. And of course, going with Bershan, that was probably a really good time too. So also seeing, I'm sorry, did you want to say something?
I was going to say, back to the family, they did some grilling is what Kiyah called it.
Oh, true.
And I didn't really consider that grilling. I kind of think every family, once you hit a certain age, you hit 23, and they're like, "Where is this going?
Yes.
Where's the relationship
it's
part
so
going?
ridiculous.
When are
Like
the
you
kids
walk
coming?"
across the stage, and they are standing there ready with the pop questions.
Exactly.
And
Like, where's the ring? What you been doing in college?
Like,
that happened to me.
I was planning on graduating. I got a degree. I didn't know that I had to bring a husband too.
That was a part of your degree. A
yeah,
requirement.
exactly. So she is in her 40s. So at this point, they are not only hounding her, but they want to know what's up, who's he. And I think it's interesting because I was trying to figure out if this was the first time they heard that her boyfriend was 22 or they already knew, because the reaction wasn't what I expected. I thought if she brought it up, they would be like, what's going on? And
she
how is
had
that?
to have brought it up, because if I'm 40 and I bring home a 22, you said? I thought he was 27, but they did say 22.
No.
You bring home a 22.
Oh wait, is he 27?
He's 27, but they said 22.
Okay,
so
they
like,
did.
Yeah,
you're right. Okay, because that's where I got that. He's
yeah,
27.
exactly. But I'm like, if I came home with someone that young, they'd be like, okay, so you're gonna die alone, all right?
Oh my God. So, or just you decided that you were going to be out here and doing this, and this does not seem like a concrete relationship or a relationship that has any promise. Now, I like Rozzy. I think he's cool, but
why?
I do. I don't know. Like, I think he has potential. I'll give him that.
Where have you seen this potential?
I've seen it in the Chanel bag. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
That's rude. But you know what I mean. I thought he showered her with gifts. I think he was a precious husband or boyfriend. I think he was there for her at the time she needed it. But I mean, after her birthday, it's been kind of like, what's the point?
He's been in Russia.
Yeah, the whole time. And
that's
we see
the potential that we've seen.
Next episode might be a problem. So, I mean, we will not hit that yet. But you're right. I mean, I don't know where they're going to go. But I do give her props for standing by his side this whole time.
I think she's standing by him. I don't know how much he's standing by her. Because,
you think so?
Because he's just been so lax about everything. Like, she's planning every little detail, and we hear nothing about what he wants. He's just like, okay. So,
but
in the
I
back
also
of my
don't
mind,
think she's asked the right questions.
okay, she hasn't asked the right questions, but she's at least addressed it. He's kind of just like, I'm living my life. I'm visiting family. I'm gone. What is that? You didn't even call me on my birthday.
Yeah, there were some things that they need to iron out, and I'm sure they're going to do that next episode. But again, I think the way Kiyah approaches the relationship gives him the room to do that.
Yeah.
She doesn't say.
She doesn't require
require much, and that's where she has to take fault. But I mean, he has to know as her man how to react, how to be, whatever. But like I said, I think they're going to really dish that out for us next episode, and it'll be really interesting to watch.
Right.
I think it's also interesting how awesome it was to see Kiyah in her career space. Yes. I was like, she's doing
a boss.
it.
Like, she is training these
we
people.
watched your reel, Kiyah, and you are it. I tweeted your reel. I was like, this is awesome. Like, this is a hair reel. I've never seen this before. This is
working
awesome.
on Tyra stuff. That was so bomb.
Very impressed. So I think overall, she is doing so well in her career, and the fact that she could do a seminar and you saw the amount of people that were there and they were ready to learn from her, I think that was really cool to see.
And it's really nice to see someone, once they've reached a certain point in their career, to give back. Like, you're giving out your technique. You really want to help someone who's trying to get where you are. So I thought that was cool.
Very genuine of her. Yeah,
very.
definitely. We can pretty much transition right into Tiffany and see kind of how she played out in this episode. It wasn't crazy, but it was enough for me to have my talking points. So
okay.
I will start with her. Basically, the episode opened up with her and Brian, her boyfriend, going to church. And I'm thinking, your first reaction was, yay, they're going to church, and it's time for them to be that kind of couple. But then Tiffany gets upset that Brian's hugging some of the people at church and being nice, which is what I saw, being nice. But she was like, have you ended your old relationships? And I was confused
flirting
by that.
Exactly. How does she consider that flirting when this is the congregation?
Yeah.
When you see people at church, you're like, how you doing, sister? Give them a hug, and you just are welcoming. Even if you don't know them, you greet people. So I don't know what's going on with that. Maybe she doesn't trust.
The thing is, we saw later in the episode that's the bottom line. She doesn't trust. She feels like there's something that Brian is hiding, or that he hid something in the past and that he hasn't gotten over that. So I think that was interesting to see her in a vulnerable stage, because like I said, I've never seen her, I guess, sit back. And this is the first time to me I felt that she showed, by the way, like, I'm a little insecure by the way you treat other women or the way you hug other women. Or that's what I saw, but I also thought she jumped the gun a little bit. It was a hug.
She jumped the gun.
I didn't see much.
But because she jumped the gun and she was, open, I would kind of like to see, like, him react a little bit better. Like, I get, maybe she was overreacting to a few things, but there are some other things he's done that have made her feel this way. So I wish he would have addressed it a little bit more and, tried to correct it.
He was very nonchalant. He did the whole, I don't know what you're talking talking about, honey? And I didn't understand. I'm like,
And
you
how
do
are
know
you
what
going to
she's
keep
talking
a
about.
relationship going like that?
Yes, exactly. So I think he could have been a little bit more comforting to her and shut it down right there. Make sure she knows, no, you're
That
the
she
most
is the
important thing.
only
Exactly.
one.
You're the only one in my life. You're the most important. He didn't really come correct in that sense. And I feel like we could expect more from Brian. So, come correct.
Do better.
Hashtag do better. That's perfect. Do better. That's perfect. And I think what was also interesting to see with Tiffany is that she makes it very clear that her family, I mean, we saw it this time for sure, but her family and her have had some kind of differences. And so I think seeing her mom this episode really made me understand a little bit more about her.
Oh, yeah.
She's a very
Because
strong-willed
And we
woman.
thought she just did a lot, but now I see, that could kind of be like a shield that she puts on because she's dealt with a lot.
Exactly. Her mom, she basically expressed to her that her mom wasn't really there for her while she was growing up. And her mom dealt with a lot of alcoholism and a lot of other different, addictions. And so I think that was her way of coping by being the strong, the opinionated, the person who doesn't let anyone step all over her toes. And I really saw that in the episode and understood her a little bit more. And then we got to meet her mom, which was really cool. And they had a beautiful emotional moment that I felt that they needed that, but I thought it was really, I guess, weird that her mom didn't react to Brian more than, I thought she'd be like, Brian, you're not it.
Well,
But
the thing is, I think they had so much to go over. They
True.
hadn't seen each other, I think she said a year and a half. So they had so much to deal with that she was kind of just like, I don't know you. Okay, he's cool. You say he's cool. Then let's talk about us. They hadn't really been able to address the things that they were dealing with. So the way that her mom reacted was kind of, I get it. Like, I came here to see you. Yes, maybe we could have taken Brian on like a date, a nice dinner, and then you introduced me that way. But I think she really just wanted to get these feelings out about how
and I think she was
feeling.
very sincere about it. And the way they hugged at the end, I felt like that was a great closure for Tiffany. Because I guess the way that they left their relationship, like she said, and it's been a year and a half. There's probably been a reason they haven't seen each other. And it just didn't seem like they had dealt with their issues from when she was younger. So I think that was really cool that she basically apologized and was saying, I want to be a better mother. And Tiffany was like, I've forgiven you. We are past
We're
that, and
moving
we can move on.
That was being a much bigger person because I think it's even interesting that they've both been through so much. Like her mom has gone through the stroke, and then Chenoa is going through her breast cancer, and to not feel like you have your mother is kind of difficult to go through. So I was even shocked to see that it went that smooth. Like I would have thought like more tears, even on Tiffany's end. I wanted to see more of an emotional connection to what her mom was saying, but it was more so like, okay, I hear you, but we've kind of moved past that, like an uncomfortable feeling.
True. And maybe that's her way of defending it. She's like, I don't really want to go back to that place. I feel like we've moved on. I'm in a good place in my life. I'm growing, and I've battled so much that maybe she just wasn't really willing to take all that on at the same time. Maybe her mom needed to get it off her chest more than she did.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. And I think once you get to a certain age and you start realizing the things that you've done, I think that's why those emotions have come out. She knows who she is now. She wished she could have done things better.
Right.
And now she's addressing those areas where she could have done things better. So, that probably was better for her.
And I think it's so cool that it aired on Mother's Day and they had that beautiful Mother's Day conversation. That was actually really beautiful. And I'm sure that wasn't on purpose, but great job, Own. Yeah, we had a
Great
moment.
marketing.
That was cool. Yeah, I think that there was a lot of there was so many mom
all family
things.
oriented. Yeah.
I'm loving that. Okay, that's great. Well, happy Mother's
Mother's
Day to everyone who saw that, and happy Mother's Day to our mothers and
Yes.
who are watching.
Mother's Day, Mom.
Right. So I had
Love
to have
you.
that, get that out there. But anyway, so I think overall Tiffany was a soldier in that situation. And I think if we also go into her dealing with her next surgery or her last surgery, that was
God forgive that it's the last one.
that was such an emotional space for her. And I think Brian, yes, he was supportive, but he's not really going to understand because the truth is it's not happening to him. And she said that he said, I'm very optimistic. Like, you're going to be fine. And I'm like, that's not what she wants to hear right now. She just,
and I said before, we need to be praying on this last surgery. Let's pray.
Right. Let's be the couple that they said that they wanted to be from the beginning.
Exactly.
I think they were too distracted in the beginning. I don't know what was going on. I mean, you're supposed to be at church, and they was. So with that said, I think in that situation they definitely could have maybe taken a faith a little bit more. But overall, I think Brian could have been a little bit
more comforting.
More comforting.
He was not comforting in this situation, and I don't know, maybe something else was going on, or maybe he was trying to be strong. But when someone's gone through that much already, they're as strong as they can be already. So when she's saying like, every time I go into this, I feel like I want to die. Like, oh, I'm optimistic doesn't really help me.
Yeah, because the truth is, like, it's not happening to you.
Exactly.
So,
And this could be my last one. I would have even liked to hear like, well, we're just gonna go ahead and pray that this is your last one, that the surgery goes well. Anything else,
some
but I'm
holding
optimistic.
Hands, some really intimate.
Yeah, like let's focus on Tiffany. Let's not focus on your optimism.
Because I don't think, like I said, I don't think it helped, and I don't think she received it as well. She could have in another situation. So maybe that could have been, a little bit different. He could have approached it a little bit better, and he knows his girl more than we do. So maybe there was something in there that she did take out of it. But from what I saw, I didn't really see it. I wasn't feeling it,
which is kind of sad. But I mean, at the end, when we see that she's gone through it, that really touched me because she's gone through this so much, and she's begging, I don't want to go through this anymore. Yeah. And I really would have liked to see like how he reacted to that as well, because he was there from the beginning. I'd like to see how he reacted once she got through that. More of a comfort maybe then that we didn't see. So
yeah, and hopefully for next episode we get to see Tiffany in a more beautiful stage, and her comforting, just being in a place where she finally feels free from cancer, feels free from all of the surgeries and that kind of thing. That would be a really great place to see her in, because she really has been through a lot and been such a soldier in the whole thing. So I think that's cool. Let's triple down to Miss Bershan. That's my girl. I'm following her.
Still Team Bershan.
That is my girl. Like, every time I'm on Instagram, I'm like, what's Bershan doing? Like, I love her. I love her page. I feel like she's so cool, very honest.
She's so open. I love
authentic.
that. I love her Instagram, very open. The fitness stuff, I'm like, okay, girl.
I'm like, I need to wake up at 7. What time is it?
Let me get on your level,
I need
Bershan.
to be better. Yeah. So she, you're dope. But this episode, we got to see her dealing with a little bit of family issues herself, which was hard for her. And her relationship with her father was so funny to me.
I thought it was funny too.
Awesome. Like, he was, look, leave me alone, I'm good. And she's trying to be the daughter who's saying, I want to help, I want to move you to New York, I want to take care of you.
And he was like, no, I'm going to stay another 37 years. I'm staying here.
That was awesome.
The crazy thing is, I kind of thought that her dad reminded me of my dad. My dad, or Bershan's dad, are soldiers. They just got it all under control. They keep that straight face, and they make light of serious situations. And I think that's the way, because I've been raised in a family that makes light of a lot of situations just to get through, I thought that was so comforting to see, like, okay, we're not the only ones. He just went through a serious accident, but he's gonna be fine. Exactly. Or at least he made Bershan feel like she's gonna be okay. She didn't have to worry. So
I think that was cool, because I love that she offered to move him to New York and just really be there for him 24/7, and he still shut it down. But I think that shows her character and how much she does really care for her parents, because I know she's not able to get there often. They are in DC, but they're not too far, so she can get there, make sure that she's with him. And I think now she's gonna make more of an effort to get there often, especially because he's not going to move anymore. And
especially because you want to spend more time. They are getting, he's getting older because her mom passed, and that's one of her huge concerns, is I want to spend more time with you. So I kind of wish he would move to New York with her, but you've been in this comforting place that you paid for so long, all these memories. I think moving him to New York and the hustle and bustle of that would just not be okay. So,
that's the thing. What would he do in New York?
He would just be sitting.
He would just be there, and that's not
going to make him feel any better. Yeah. He should be in a comfortable space doing what he wants to do in a space where he wants to do it.
Exactly. New York, I think, would be too harsh for someone who's dealing with so much right now. I mean, she said he had a bad back and eye and this and that.
And please don't drive in New York. Oh my gosh, no.
Please, that's not even an option.
My question, when are they going to take, there has to be a point where they take licenses, because if he has a bad eye, bad knee, bad this, there should be restrictions.
There probably are, and I think he probably just didn't follow them. I mean, I'm not sure, but the way she was talking about it, she said he really shouldn't be driving. I'm pretty sure he's definitely rebellious. Yeah, I think he's probably being rebellious.
Reminds me of my granddad. No, really,
you
very
know how family
stubborn
can
older
be.
man.
You know how family can be. So I think that was really cool that she was able to be there, and we got to see a little bit of her family. We also got to see the person who played her stepmother throughout her life, because they were never married, but she was a really big support system. So seeing her in that stage, I think, made Bershan feel better about leaving, because she knows that
someone's there for him.
Exactly. So I think that was cool, and I'm hoping next episode we get to see her go home a little bit more. We get to see her just take care of them the way she can, especially because her husband's not around all the time.
Yeah, spend more time with your family if you can.
Which side note, why is her husband not around? I can't.
Same issue as last week.
I
Come on,
I
just
guess he's
fly
out,
down.
but
No.
I don't see why he just can't come for one episode. We just want to see.
No, maybe a week. Like, just come back.
Just shoot for a couple. I mean, I don't know what's going on with him, but I feel like that's why things hit her so much harder because she's not around anyone to support.
Or I'd like to see, like, can they Skype each other? Something. Yeah. I'd like to see him. We've seen Rozzy. We've seen, all the other boyfriends. I would love to see the successful husband.
Just seeing what's
Skype.
going on. Exactly.
Hey, babe, in a meeting, gotta go. Okay, I'd love to see that.
Just 20 seconds. That's all. I mean, they could FaceTime. This is iPhone season. Let's be real. Mm-hmm. So, anyway, with that said, let's go into Chenoa and her emotions throughout this episode. I feel like she always deals with the most, especially because she's going through a separation right now. So I think it was interesting seeing her really interpret what it means to run a donut shop with your ex-husband
and who does that? That is like that was a long scenario, and I'm sure she's the only one dealing with that.
I'm just saying, I am giving a weird face right now. If you can't see us, I don't know. I think it was a cool idea at first, but I don't think she really dived into what it means. She's going to be giving up some of her life. And my question is he paying her?
I don't think he's paying her. I think he is using this thing to his advantage. Again, we said that before. Chenoa went into this thinking this donut shop is going to help our separation become a marriage again, and he went into this thinking this is business.
And she realized that this episode,
and she said that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just really sad to see her have to go through this, because when she was going through her new gig, with the jeans, I was like, you need to drop this donut shop because this is for you. Exactly. And if you drop that campaign for this donut shop, Chenoa.
I don't think she would drop it. I just think we're going to see how hard it's going to be for her to balance both. Because like she said, Carlisle's asking her for so much so quickly.
But Carlisle needs to find a backup.
Exactly. And Carlisle wants this to be done in a month.
Which is unrealistic.
Which he never told her. Very unprofessional. He never told her that. And he did this whole sarcasm thing in the beginning when he told her, you're really good at that. And you got this. And it just seems so insincere to the point that she should have taken that as a sign and said,
I gotta go. I gotta get out this donut shop. It seemed like he was treating her like an intern and not a partner. Yeah. And that bothers me. Interns are starting from the bottom, running coffee. You talk to them any kind of way, unfortunately. But he was talking.
You've obviously been an intern.
I mean, we've been interns.
We've all been interns.
But he was just talking to her like she was a brick wall. Like, do this, do that. Oh, you're great. Haha, bye. I gotta go. No.
Yeah, where do you have to go?
Exactly.
This is your donut shop too. Let's sit and figure out. You want me to design the entire thing?
Exactly. Let's figure out. She was talking about all of the logistics of it, where the fire marshals have to get in. Why doesn't Carlisle do that? Like, I'm designing it, making it look great. Her, yeah. But you need to be involved in this. It does not need to all be on me. And the fact that she's letting him bothers me.
Again, we do this every episode. We're missing Candace and Sterling today. We missed you guys. But I know Candace, if they were here, they would really be going in on the fact that Chenoa, even just debated picking between two things. I know Candace, I could hear her right now.
Oh, she would just be like, she's stupid.
She would lose it. She would lose it. And with that said, I don't think it's necessary that she's letting him. She's just trying to stick to her guns, because remember she said, I stuck to my word. I said what I'm going to do, and that's what I'm going to do. And I appreciate that. I feel like she's also trying to be professional in a sense, but you're right. There is a lot of history there that makes us believe that she has an ulterior motive, which is to make sure that Carlisle can trust her and Carlisle wants her back.
Yeah, because in the beginning when he didn't even give her a hug, she was just like, where's the love? Like, oh, you look good from the back.
That was so hard.
And she was just talking to herself.
That was really hard to watch.
That's not okay.
Because he was literally walking past her and she was like, you don't even care. You really aren't paying me any attention.
And see, at that point, I was going to say at that point, they need to just stop before we go into business and figure this out. But Carlisle, I have to say, he was being professional. Like, let's not get into our relationship stuff. But
if we're going to do this, we're going to do this.
Yeah, if we're going to do this, let's do it. But then, don't be so rude, Carlisle. You do not have to be rude. This is this is still your wife.
The truth is, I don't think he thought he was rude. Because the way it happened, he definitely couldn't have. Because the way it was happening, he kept pushing it like, you're great, you're good at this, you got this, right, cool. And he didn't really give her a chance to say anything back, fight back, any of that. So I feel that he really isn't worried about how she feels, in a sense. Like, I don't think he thinks that it's a big deal. So that's hard to watch overall.
Hard to watch, and I think he's talking to someone else. He has to be, because he's
think so?
He is so disconnected from her. Like, no, after all those years, he's way too disconnected.
This is true, and that's why I've been trying to figure out what was the ending like. We see what she thinks and how she felt, but we never got his. So I really want to know: did he bury his feelings? Does he feel the same way? Is he hurt? What is the deal?
I would like to see that he's hurt. I'd like to see that. No,
I want pain.
I'd like to see he's genuinely hurt, and
Yeah.
the reason they're separated is because you cannot have children. I'd like to see that, but it's seeming just like I just don't even know what feeling he has. He's just like leaving with giving us nothing, basically.
He's not.
I just don't like it. I don't like it.
And I think it's going to be really interesting to see how the girls react to Chenoa's, basically having to deal with two different jobs, especially because one job is not really a job, it's an internship. Now, let's go back to that, because if he's not paying her, I don't really understand what's happening.
Yeah.
She was in there for hours working on fire marshals. You need to pay me.
Exactly.
This
and then
is not
running
a joke.
from her actual job to the next.
Absolutely
and the
not.
next episode.
That was crazy. And the fact that we can see that a little bit in next episode that she's going to have to deal with the balance. I'm just not sure that, especially Kiyah or Bershan, I don't think they're going to react to that well at all. They're really going to have to give her a talking to.
They're going to have to grill her and Carlisle.
Exactly.
I think Kaya's going to have to go in on both of them because
she's the one that's the closest to both of them. Yeah, we definitely need her to. Somebody needs to pull out how Carlisle feels. I really need to know what's going on with him. I really need to know.
Because then we wouldn't be going back and forth. Team Carlisle, team I hate you, Carlisle. Like, no.
I didn't even know we had I hate you. I mean, we do on a side note, but I didn't know we started a whole. That's perfect. That's great.
Yeah, so I don't know how that's going to go. I hope they grill them. That's not a prediction. That's just a wish. So.
Well, speaking of predictions, let's jump right into them.
All right now.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV
Predictions.
Okay.
All right, I'm
Weirdo.
sorry. All right, it's
She's
cool.
doing this weird.
I'm doing
thing,
a little
guys,
dance
like
thing.
This alien. Crap.
Because the thing. Anyway, let's get back to it. So, predictions for next episode. What are you thinking?
Okay, so my first one, I know I'm always just like jumping ahead, but my first one is Tiffany's gonna leave Brian. In the next episode,
You just really went there. You just went there.
okay, my reason. Because they said, okay, do we not remember that Tiffany just said, like, I fall in love with you, and then I fall out of love with you in the next episode?
Didn't, yes.
Come on now. Like,
That
she
was
said, I fall
ridiculous.
in love with you, I fall out of love with you. I mean, it happens every other day. She's going to leave him. Like,
She's going to leave him. That's
what type
awesome.
of relationship?
That is crazy. I was like, what kind of love falls in and out every day? You got to lock that up, girl.
Yeah,
You
like,
gotta lock
okay,
that.
love may not like now. Like, I can dislike you every other day.
Sure.
That's okay. But she said love. Like, my heart goes this way every other day. Like, no.
It's a little much. This is very true. Okay, so how is that going to happen? Do you think she's going to leave him coming up like next episode, or do you think there's going to be something she has to see before she decides to head out, or
there's
what?
no telling. The next episode we see her in a photo shoot, and she doesn't seem very inviting or warm with him. So maybe something happened, or maybe she just is having an off day where she doesn't care about him, and maybe that'll be the day she breaks up with him.
Goodness
Who
gracious,
knows?
that's too much.
Or maybe it has something to do with him not being supportive during her breast cancer. Who knows? But I think they're gonna.
Well, the thing is, we can't really say that he wasn't being supportive. We just interpreted as
Exactly.
he wasn't really comforting in the way that we would have expected, / like maybe more understood more. But like I said, I think he knows his girl more than we do, and maybe she was cool with that. I'm not really sure. But
Okay, so maybe, all right, back it up. Maybe it wasn't the breast cancer, but can we go back to the fact that she wants to be number one and she doesn't feel like number one? Maybe
Right.
that conversation could be the thing that makes her think, like, this is it. We gotta
Right.
call it quits on this.
And that would be really unfortunate, because I know Tiffany said that she hasn't been in a really committed relationship in a while. So that, I'm sure it's going to be harder for her than we think, but maybe she's willing to give it another chance. But what was hard for me to watch was she said that when I get disappointed, I leave. Did you hear when she said that?
No.
It was really annoying, because Kiyah said that she wants to talk to Tiffany about how, like, her commitment issues, basically, during the photo shoot, which is going to happen
got
next
it.
episode. And she said, I want to talk to you a little bit about that. She said, well, the truth is, when I get disappointed, I leave. And Brian hurt her.
Yeah, he disappointed her.
And I'm like, Tiff, you can't just bolt in
Yeah.
a serious relationship. You just can't do it.
And maybe this will be a lesson for her. So that's my prediction, that maybe they'll go on a break. Or maybe it'll be a stupid reason on why she leaves. But I feel like there's going to be some rift in their relationship.
Well, I would like to predict that Carlisle and Chenoa are going to have a huge argument next episode.
I said they're going to fight.
Yep, because I think he's going to, start saying, you know, you're not choosing me first and you're too busy with the job and what's going on. And she's going to have an emotional breakdown. She's going to finally declare war on this because.
And I hope she says it.
And
loud.
I hope she says that. I hope she really says what we feel because I'm feeling like she could.
I hope she has no regrets when she talks to him because knowing how Chenoa is, I could see her going off and saying exactly what she wants, but then being like, but I love him so much. Like.
Which is fine, but she has to tell him exactly how she feels first.
And be
love
okay
can come
with
after.
it.
Yeah, you can still love him. But I need you to tell him the truth.
But I need you to respect me. And there's no respect. We got to cut this donut shop off like donut.
I think overall, next episode's going to be really juicy. There's a lot going on with all the girls, so I'm really pumped. You guys make sure that you leave us your comments. Check us out on AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. Subscribe. Give us 5 stars. Make sure you tweet us throughout the week and tell us what you're thinking about Love in the City next week. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at OneTakeStace. And where can they find you, girl?
And you guys can find me at Teznos on Instagram and Twitter. Please tweet us all your comments this week. We'd love to hear from you guys.
Cool.
Have a great one.
We will see you next week, you guys.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.